I'm here with the very prominent and well-known designer and brand at the Colombo Fashion Week, Amilani Perera, who has been showcasing her talent with a unique touch at the Colombo Fashion Week ever since 2013. Hi Amilani, it is a pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, and likewise. It's an absolute pleasure.
Well, the pleasure is all ours. Amilani, to speak a little bit about Colombo Fashion Week, could you tell us a little bit about what the collection is like and what's the focus this season?
So this season, as you know, we have been involved with survivors of violence in our production development methods, and they have been inclusive in our production for quite some time. And this year, Women's Day happened to be inspiring inclusion as well, which I thought of doing the collection based on the unutilized women, mainly in Sri Lanka as well, because there's so much of we have to offer, and I feel like more than the other continents in South Asia per se, the women have become more suppressed in terms of the role which they have to portray in the society. So with that, also I'll be using some of the works with the survivors of violence have done, especially a project which I did with the United Nations Population Fund, where all of us went to the Akasa shelter in Anuradhapura, and this is a shelter which houses differently abled survivors of violence, and I taught them how to do macram weave bands, and they generated an income out of it as well. And I'll be using these bands in the collection as well. Okay. So apart from that, to stay in line with the theme, the Women's Day theme as well, I'm very inspired by this Sri Lankan oriented flower called kadapul, which is also called Queen of the Night. Okay. The reason which I'm really inspired by this flower and how it gets joined with the Inspire Inclusion is that this flower only lasts few hours after it gets bloomed, and it's only for a couple of hours in the night. Okay. So nobody has the pleasure of seeing the beauty of the flower, and it dies out even before we could actually use the full potential of the beauty of this flower. And the minute you harm the flower, the minute you break it from the stem, the value depreciates, and it happens to be the most expensive flower in the world, which nobody can appreciate because you can't put a price tag on it because it dies down within an hour's time. So I hope you understand how these two links to one another. So with that, the entire collection is built around this inclusion, Inspire Inclusion. And the storyline, even the color palette goes around that, like the blossoming of the flower, where the flower bud, the young flower bud is represented with the yellows, and it forms into the pinks. That's the little bit of an hour or two which will be blossomed. And then the dead flower represents with fewer darker shades, it forms into the blacks. And apart from using the survivors of violence, their work, their macram bead work, we are also introducing a little bit of, I mean, most of the people know that we are really full on into surface decoration. So this time we are planning to use a bit of 3D work as well, 3D printing work in our surface decorations. Apart from that, a lot of weaving and embellishments. I have all over with a lot of hand embellishments. And of course, you will get to see my prints, which I develop, the digital prints, every season. They'll be, we are using the method sublimation printing this year as well. Okay. So the less impact, harmfulness in the environment as well. So very excited for the collection. Hope you like it.
We are very excited as well, and definitely looking forward to seeing and being a part of your collection as well.
Thank you.
Also, Amilani, since we spoke a little bit about the survivors, and since you do play a major role in playing or being the voice of victims, since there are victims involved and you're using their products or their creations within your session as well, could you tell us a little bit about the challenges that you may have faced to get the right skill out of them, and how have you been teaching them, and how has it been? How has the whole process been?
Well, it has been a lot challenging. Especially all these shelters are based out of Colombo for specific reasons, because these girls need their privacy and things like that. So we have traveled to Kandy. So especially this shirt which I'm wearing, actually weaved by survivors actually. Okay. So this is the Christmas collection which we did by their hand woven material. So this was done in Kandy. Weaving has been done in Kandy. So the macram beads had to be couriered from Anuradhapura, because they were based in Anuradhapura. To teach them also, we had to travel to Anuradhapura to source material, to see how they work, their finishings. We all had to visit Kandy, things like that. The logistics have been a bit of a challenging process, but hats off, I have to thank United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, for being an amazing partner and who had always been supportive in achieving the goals which I wanted to achieve with these survivors as well. And even the shelter caretakers, everyone has been so generous there, especially in 2020 when we initially started the project and partnership with United Nations Population Fund. I remember the entire project we handled through WhatsApp, because 2020 was the most challenging year so far, I think, for the entire mankind. Different provinces were on lockdown, different stages, so we had to courier back and forth. Everything was organized through WhatsApp, sending even sketches. Everything was done remotely, but everything worked out well thanks to the shelters. That time it was Women Development Center, and because of United Nations Population Fund. So it has been amazing. It has been an amazing journey. I take all these challenges as a positive energy, because that keeps me going and that really pushes me and it gives me the drive. And we are looking forward to work on with the survivors, more workshops as well in future. So
yeah, yes, definitely. And it's amazing what you do, and we're looking forward to all the lovely creations that are yet to be showcased at the Colombo Fashion Week. Thank you so much, Amilani, for speaking to us, for being here, and all the very best for Colombo Fashion Week 2024. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.